Hare Krishna. Although every chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is very important and sweet, this is perhaps the sweetest chapter in the whole Gita. And it is appropriately titled The Most Confidential Knowledge. Raj Vidya Raj Guhya Yoga. The King of Knowledge, the King of all secrets. Why is it a secret? If the book is available in every library in the world practically, it's available in all the famous bookshops, it's everywhere. What makes it confidential? What makes it confidential is the understanding that the path of devotion to Krishna is supreme. There are many messages that Krishna gives throughout the Bhagavad Gita. But if one looks carefully and if one receives the message rightly, then the message of devotion and love stands out bright. And in this chapter especially, the message of love is emphasized repeatedly. So it is the most confidential knowledge. There is Guhya, Guhyatara, Guhyatamam. Confidential, more confidential, most confidential. And this chapter is titled The Most Confidential Knowledge. And it describes how we can love Krishna. At the end of the 8th chapter, we heard the importance of trying to remember Krishna with love throughout our life and especially at death so that we can return to Krishna's abode. But then how can we practically do that? So this chapter gives us many nice steps we can practically do. Many of the famous verses of the Bhagavad Gita are in this chapter. For example, when Krishna says, Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridhavrata namasyantascha mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. Always hear and chant about my glories. Serve me with great determination. Krishna's emphasis is that we should constantly hear about him and serve him as a means to developing love for him. We cannot love someone we don't know, so we need to hear about that person. We cannot love somebody without developing a sense of service to that person. So we have to serve. And then Krishna also says in another place, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye janaha paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. For one whose mind is constantly absorbed in me, who constantly worships me with faith, I protect what he has and I carry what he lacks. And then of course the famous Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam verse, where he says, if you offer me a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or some water with love, I will accept it. I will eat it with great happiness. So Krishna is asking us to do some things that are very simple. Offer the simplest of things that you have. Of course, also offer the expensive things. Don't keep the expensive things only for yourself and offer only the simpler things to Krishna. But what Krishna is trying to say is that your economic situation is not a barrier. Even if you are the poorest of the poor, surely you have some water to offer Krishna. You can have a flower, a leaf, a fruit to offer to Krishna. That's all Krishna is asking for. So Patram means leaf, Pushpam means flower, Phalam means fruit, and Toyam means water. So these are things we offer to Krishna. One time one gentleman asked me, why can't I offer liquor to Krishna and accept that? Because Krishna says, whatever you do, whatever you eat, etc., you do as an offering unto me. In the same chapter also, he says that, Yat karoshi yadashnasi. So then what's the reply? I'm sure you will have people asking you such questions. Don't dismiss that person because it's an important question. It's a philosophical question that we should answer properly. we shouldn't get unnerved or annoyed when people ask us questions, because that's important, even to clarify our own understanding, and then we have to patiently and kindly explain to the other person. Then I quoted this Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam verse. Toyam means water. So I said, had Krishna said Patram Pushpam Phalam Beeram, then yes, I could have said, yes, go ahead and offer your beer to Krishna. Or if Krishna had said Patram Pushpam Phalam Scotcham, or whatever else, then you could have done that. But since Krishna doesn't give you that liberty, he gives you only the liberty for toyam or water, then better stick to that. Of course, elsewhere he also gives us other tips on what we can offer and what we can't offer. So there are regulations, there are prohibited items, there are items that are permitted. So essentially it's a matter of our consciousness. Whether they are little things or whether they are big things in life, if we offer them to Krishna with love, so Krishna, we are offering them to you. And we do it with the understanding that this was not mine in any case. So what is Krishna so happy about then? If we are giving to Krishna what in any case belongs to him, what gives us the credit? How many of you are parents here? Okay. Suppose your little child, or if your child is grown up, when your child was small, suppose your boy or girl came to you on your birthday and gave you a nice gift, a small little gift of a toy. Now the child knows you're not going to play with the toy. You're going to give the toy back to him, right? Or even with a little leaf or a flower, and gives it to you with money that he has taken from you. So you don't need that flower, you don't need that toy, but you're very happy to receive it from your child. Why? What makes it special? The child has given it with love. So what you're accepting is the love. You don't consider that anyway it was my money. The child just took it, went to the market, bought something and is giving it back to me in this form. But what you consider is the child was thoughtful enough to do that. The child added love. So similarly, everything is Krishna's property, but we take whatever we can and offer it to Krishna with love. Sometimes people say, why do you spend so much money to build big temples? Because even the best that we can do is not enough to offer to Krishna. Whatever we have, we should offer to Krishna. So in this chapter, Krishna is teaching us the ways of divine love. By offering whatever we have, less or more, we can actually develop pure love for him. Hare Krishna.